Get your streaming devices ready, ladies and gentlemen. Load it up and press play. This is Pop Goulash Presents Netflix and Chill with Reuben and Tom.
Jesus Christ.
I'm Reuben.
I'm Tom, and that name is really Netflix and Chill is...
Yeah, it's funny.
It's...
Because we're dudes and we're straight, so whatever.
Whatever, I don't care. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but... Right?
Dude, I have been on record multiple times saying...
I know. I was doing this Seinfeld thing, whatever, but...
Not that there's anything wrong
Not that there's
with
anything
it.
wrong with it.
Tom had this great idea.
So here's the thing. I am, for those of people who know me, I'm a fucking Netflix junkie, man. I'm like, seriously, I am hours and hours. I'm on the train. I commute, so I'm on the train hour in and an hour out of the city every day. And as a result, I watch Netflix all the time. So my biggest problem with Netflix has always been when I watch something that I was like really cool, I really want to talk to somebody about it, but I watched it by myself on the train. So I thought, okay, here's a great idea for a podcast. And I called Reuben and I said, dude, here's what we need to do. We need to do like a Netflix thing where like we watch something on Netflix, because I don't think anybody's really doing it. Or people are doing it, but they're doing it kind of like from here's how we're interpreting this critical. I just want somebody to bullshit about the movie with.
Right.
Like, I just want somebody to like fucking, that's it. So
absolutely.
And you had the great idea of making it Pop Goulash Presents, and so we'll just do it that way. And so that's
man.
where it came from.
We had some space to fill.
There you go. So
now you bitches are going to be full of Pop Goulash Weekly again.
You're going to be Pop Goulash overload.
Right. So this particular podcast, we're going to try to keep this one short and concise to the point, usually about a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how it goes. And this one's going to drop in the off weeks of the full-on Pop Goulash episodes.
And there's going to be spoilers, right? I mean,
just go ahead and understand that we're going to spoil the fuck out of these
You probably should watch the movie before you listen to this.
Or don't. And just be like, these motherfuckers were so wrong about this bullshit-ass movie.
Yeah. I mean, that could be, too. I mean, as much as possible, I'm going to try not to, if there's a huge twist, spoil, and I'll try not to, but, dude,
and I will
no
intentionally spoil that shit, because, fuck it, these movies are on Netflix, they've been out for a while.
Most of these have been out on Netflix for a while. I'm usually watching stuff that's been there for a while. Sometimes I'll watch newer stuff, but...
Right, and for the most part, too, we're not, focusing specifically on Netflix original programming.
No.
We will, I'm sure, hit some Netflix original programs, like Bright or Netflix movies, but this is just in general. And
stuff that's on Netflix.
Right. So, Tom's going to pick a movie one week, and then I'll probably pick a movie the following week.
Right.
Unless Tom has an awesome idea for a secondary movie. Mostly this one is going to be Tom's, taking the lead on this one.
Well, and I picked this movie. And
he did pick this movie.
It's unfortunate that I picked this movie. I was not happy about it. Did you watch it?
I watched it, yeah.
So the movie we picked is The Place Beyond the Pines.
And why? Okay.
So,
my first thing is, why the fuck was this movie 2.5 hours long? There was no reason.
Well, it was like 3 movies.
Jesus
man.
Christ, it was 3 movies.
3 different stories.
Oh, it was fucking. Oh man.
Okay, before we do that, so what I want to do was, all right. So it's The Place Beyond the Pines, 2012. It stars Bradley Cooper,
Ryan Gosling,
and what's her name? I did not write down her name, and I'm ticked. Eva Mendes. It's 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, 80% critics, 75% audience, and a 7.3 on IMDb.
Right.
I usually go with the IMDb scores because I think that's some of the more. It's a little bit more accurate.
Right.
Dude, this thing did not deserve anywhere near a freaking 7.3 on IMDb.
It was okay.
Yeah, I would say it was okay. I would put it in the low 6s somewhere.
Yeah, like a 5, man.
5 or 6. I'm good with that.
You know what this movie reminded me of? Dude, you know what? I love reading the like shit reviews on
Oh, I know. I do.
One
that.
star.
I know.
A perfect way to ruin your evening.
What? Right. It wasn't that bad.
Watching paint dry. A big disappointment.
It-
Shallow and inconsistent.
It wasn't that bad, and I
Yeah.
didn't think it was shallow and inconsistent. It just wasn't. It just wasn't very exciting. The most exciting part of the whole. Here's the problem.
Wait,
too.
wait. Hold on. 2-star ratings. The Place Beyond the Pines, where you find bear turds. Where do I get back my 440 minutes and $10.50?
You know, the funny. All right. The funny thing about this is, originally I had picked a Netflix original movie, The Outsider.
Yeah, we should have watched that. It's
Which
in my queue.
I did watch that. I also watched that this week. That was a significantly better movie. But I picked this one because like I wanted to do something that was in my queue, and I just looked and I saw. I mean, it's got a great cast,
Yeah.
right? Bradley Cooper, Ray Liotta, Ryan Gosling, Ava Mendes. I mean, this is not a
The kid that was
B-list
in
cast.
the kid was in he was in Chronicle,
yes,
and he was also in that weird Metallica movie.
okay.
Have you seen that?
I
Through
didn't
to
see
Never?
that. I didn't see
It's
that.
I think it was on Netflix for a minute. It's like half concert film, and then there's this weird background bullshit going on.
Okay.
Like there's this through storyline where like that kid is like a runner for the band. And then like there's like all this weird shit. Like he goes on this adventure trying to get the band shit while they're rocking on stage.
Oh,
It's a weird movie.
I didn't
It's
see
cool
that.
because it's got live like
what's it called?
Metallica's Through the Never.
Okay, I'll have to check
And it was
out.
like literally like 3/4 concert film and then this weird narrative that goes through it. It's really a strange fucking film.
That was the kid. Which one was that? The blonde kid or the dark haired kid?
The blonde kid.
The blonde kid.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I liked his character way better.
Right, yeah.
Well, he was the only really redeeming. That's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Let's talk about the
Duh.
movie. So,
Okay, so it starts off with like, dude, this movie took like 3 or 4 turns and I'm like, this is how we're going?
hold on. Can I interrupt for a second? First of all, there is no carny on the face of the earth that looks like Ryan Gosling.
No. They look
Okay,
like Ryan
let's-
Gosling on meth with 4 teeth.
Let's just get that out of the way. Ryan Gosling plays a carny who leaves the carnival to hang out with his. Ava Mendes plays the.
You find out it's his baby mama.
Right.
For
So
lack
I
of
was
a
going to
better
say
term.
baby mama, and yeah, I didn't know if that was appropriate, so I say it.
It's not cultural appropriation.
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. Dude, I'm so not in that world. So
I'm
I don't
so
know what
afraid to
say or
talk
not.
and say
I really
things
am.
anymore.
Like, what should I say? Do I say the word Mexican? I don't know. Is that okay? Like, can I say homosexual? I'm not sure.
Did you ever see 30 Rock?
No. Well, I mean, I watched it, but
Dude, like the Alec Baldwin character in that is perfect. Like he's like,
yeah.
she's a Mexican. She's from Guatemala. Yeah, but she's a Guatemalan Mexican.
She's a Guatemalan Mexican. But so the first part of this movie is Ryan Gosling's character. He leaves the carnival to hang out with the baby mama
because he finds out like he was in town the year before,
right.
and he knocks this chick, Ava
Mendes.
Mendes. He knocks her up, and then like
Sorry, I'm banging this around because I'm trying to get it in the right place so I could see you.
that is probably not the first time that sentence ever been muttered.
Yeah, but I have clothes on.
Right, but and not
So.
with me. But yeah, so you find out he like knocked this chick up and she's pregnant, and then he sees her at this thing, and like there's this weird interaction. She doesn't really say that she was pregnant with this kid or whatever. I can't really remember. I watched it over a course of like 3 days.
Yeah, it took me. It was so long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It took me three watchings to watch it. Like it was a train ride in, a train ride out, and then the next morning the train ride in. Which should tell you something because
It splits it into the
unexcited to watch the finale of it that I didn't come home that night and watch the end at home on the couch. I actually waited till the next morning to watch it on the train. It was just so the first part of the movie wasn't too bad.
But then like all of a sudden like Ryan Gosling gets killed.
And it turns into a movie about Bradley Cooper, who's a cop trying to be
A
like
good
some
cop.
superstar in a
I don't think-
so bad and
It
so
wasn't
bad.
a good movie for him. Like,
Oh.
and well, the thing was, it was like, I don't think that he was trying to be a super cop. I think that he just wanted to do his job,
Yes.
and he was doing his job, and he ends up killing Ryan Gosling. Spoilers in
right, spoiler
process
alert.
because Ryan Gosling decides, oh, well, I can't have a real job like a normal person because I'm a fucking carny. So I'm going to use a dirt bike and go like rob banks.
which
So it
wasn't a bad idea.
Well, apparently
To be
on
honest.
IMDb, from what I was reading,
Yeah.
like that was actually based on
On a real person.
on an actual person that would rob banks like that.
I could see that. I mean,
But still, it's like, dude, you're riding a fucking dirt bike. Like, how hard is it to spot a dirt bike on the express? And it looks like he was like, it wasn't like he was like in downtown Chicago
no,
or New York
well,
City.
they were in
He was
Schenectady.
in fucking Schenectady.
Schenectady,
How
New York,
big
in
is
the middle
Schenectady?
of. I don't even know where Schenectady is. I don't think it's upstate. I think it's.
I think
like
it is. I think
it
it is.
upstate?
Yeah, but for me, it's like every time I hear the word Schenectady, I'm like, that's not a real place. That's not a real word.
I thought of Scranton the whole time. Every time they said Schenectady, all I
Right.
could think of was The Office in Scranton.
Right. I'm like, that's not a real place.
Yeah.
But apparently, I think they were saying Schenectady is actually like Native American for the place beyond the pines.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like,
Okay.
But
I
I'm
mean,
like,
well,
Schenectady is not a real world.
For what it's worth, the scenery wasn't.
No,
The
it was a
scenery
beautiful
was
town.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was well shot.
It was well shot. The cinematography was cinematography was great.
The cinematography.
Cinnamon
churros.
My biggest problem with it was I thought the best character in the whole. Well, I don't want to get to the end.
Yeah. Let's so like
I thought Ryan Gosling's character was actually. I thought that whole story.
his arc was
Of
okay.
him, his arc was really, really cool, and I thought I was hoping this was going to get somewhere where this guy's going to
Redeem
redeem
himself?
himself and whatever.
Yeah.
And then we're 40 minutes into the movie, and now I got to watch an hour and a half of freaking Bradley Cooper, who, let me just say, he's not a good actor. I'm trying to think of something he's been really, really good in.
He was good in Limitless. He's good.
Okay,
in,
I did not see Limitless.
Limitless wasn't bad. He was also he was good in the Hangover movies.
Yeah, but
He was awesome as Rocket Raccoon.
Look, you and I could have played in the Hangover movies. We're just not as good looking as Bradley
Yeah,
Cooper.
that's true.
The truth is, you play a guy who's partying and drunk and an idiot. That's not a
Not
hard
hard.
role,
Right.
It's like,
But I mean, I hear he was really good in American Hustle.
actually, he was good in American Hustle, but what's her name, Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence.
She was freaking outstanding.
She's outstanding in everything, though.
She's really, really good.
I haven't
really,
seen Mother yet.
really
I
good.
bought it, but I haven't seen Mother yet.
I hear it's really, really freaking weird.
I hear it's fucked up. Well, it's a Darren Aronofsky movie.
It's like out there, man.
Yeah.
And strange.
I hear it's akin. He wanted to make it really akin.
It's
to,
Clockwork Orange type of fucked up. is
No,
what
it's
I hear.
Rosemary's Baby.
Or
Like it was
Rosemary's
supposed to be
Baby
like
type of-
in the same
yeah.
vein as Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah,
But
it's
anyway,
weird.
we digress because it's pop goulash-ish,
That's the way
and that's
this
how we
works.
roll. So then he just dies, and I'm like, he had
Yeah.
top billing.
Yeah. Well, he had top billing, and like I said, I thought he was the best character in the movie, at least until the very, very end.
Right. But so then you find out Bradley Cooper's character, he's this cop, he's almost like a rookie cop, but then you find out that he's got
With a law degree.
He's a law degree. I'm a lawyer.
and he really it was
I
obvious.
passed the bar.
It was obvious that Bradley Cooper was a cop trying to do a good job, but what he wanted to do was
be a lawyer.
move his way up to. He eventually ends up running
He's the
for
DA,
attorney general,
and then to the attorney
and
general. Yeah.
all of that, kind of crap, and he gets into politics, and he becomes this. He becomes this complete douchebag, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of interesting because that maybe that was I think what they were trying to do was this whole father type of
Yeah.
thing where you have this Ryan Gosling character who, for all I'm trying to think
He
of
was
the word.
he was like a douchebag,
came
but he was
from
trying to
nowhere.
be a good dad. He wanted to be
Right.
a good dad.
But he leaves the carnival to stay with his baby mama because he knows it's the right thing to do. And even though he doesn't get a real job, he tries to do the right thing he tries to do the quote unquote right thing by robbing banks so that he can provide. It's so weird to say the right thing by robbing banks.
But and then
But he can provide for his kid.
but his baby mama's already got a dude that's
Who, by the way, was
he was a great actor
in the bit part that he played is fucking incredible. What's his name? Ali is his last name.
Yeah,
He's
been in a bunch of shit.
Well, he's in House of Cards.
Yeah, I never watched that.
But
he was in something else that I have
so
seen
good.
that he was really good in. Hold on.
And in this, he's
but
really, really good.
Well, you know
too.
what? He's an Oscar winner.
Is he really?
Yeah,
For
he
what?
he won best actor for Moonlight.
I'm trying to find his name.
Muhammad Ali.
No, it's not Mohammed.
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
But yeah,
Okay,
he
and that's
actually-
probably fucking not the way you say that.
Yeah, actually, he was in Luke Cage. He was in the first season of Luke Cage.
Okay, so he was in Luke Cage.
He was
yes.
the lead. He played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, in this, he plays Kofi. He plays the baby mama's boyfriend and then later husband, you find out, right?
And apparently he's going to be in the 3rd season of True Detective. They didn't learn after that 2nd season.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
I did not watch True Detective.
The 1st season was amazing. The 2nd season,
But he was really good.
he was excellent in it.
In this, I thought he was really good, too. He's
he was
another one that he needed a lot more
Time.
of a role. He needed a bigger role, and he didn't have it.
He just got smacked in the head with a wrench like a bitch.
Well, but he was very good doing it. And it was believable.
Yeah.
That scene with him and Gosling, when Gosling's setting up the crib,
right.
I thought was a pretty powerful scene.
It
I thought that was really, really good because you have both of these guys trying to do the right thing, and you could even see in I forget his first name again, but Kofi was his character in the movie. Coffee. You could even see him in that scene. He knew Gosling was just trying to do the right thing.
Right.
And it's like he had this kind of internal struggle thing where he's like, well, I don't want to kick him out. I know I'm supposed to kick him out, but he's really just trying to do the right thing. It was.
Right.
I thought that was an incredibly powerful scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only scene in the movie I thought was better was the very last scene of the movie.
Yeah. Well, not the last scene, but I know which one you're talking about.
No, I thought the last scene with the kid.
In the motorcycle?
Yes. Yeah. I thought that was. I know it was very cliche.
Well, like,
so
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Go ahead.
Right. So he so Ryan Gosling, now we're back to Ryan Gosling again.
Because I thought he stole his character, and I thought stole the whole movie, and he was only in it for the first 40 minutes.
You know, and it's funny because like when I think of Ryan Gosling, I think of Half Nelson. That's the first movie I ever
Wasn't
saw
he
him
in Brokeback Mountain?
No.
Oh no.
No, that was Gyllenhaal. Jake
okay,
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, or Gyllenhaal, whatever the hell.
But no. The first thing I ever saw him in was Half Nelson, where he played a heroin addict teacher.
Yeah, okay.
And that was he was fantastic in that. And then I had the fucking misfortune of seeing The Notebook. Ugh.
Oh God,
that's a chick flick, man.
I read that book. I read that book for my wife, and I just, I wanted to.
I have so many
I wanted to
jokes.
smash my head into a wall reading that.
Well,
book.
that's because of Sparks.
Terrible. But
so
anyway, okay.
But yeah,
so like back to what were you saying, Gosling?
Yeah, so Ryan Gosling, and then I've seen him in Crazy Stupid Love. He was really good in that. With Kat Denning.
Yes.
No, not Kat Denning.
No,
the other hot one.
Was...
No, it's not Kat Denning. It's
the other hot one. It's funny because when you say Kat Denning, I thought yes, Kat Denning.
No, it was she played Gwen Stacy in the second Spider-Man series. I see her in my head. She won an Oscar. She was in La La Land with him.
I'll look it up.
She was in La La Land.
I'll look it up while you're continuing.
Anyway, so he was in that, and that was really good. But yeah, he's a great actor. But I'm sorry, when you got that pretty boy face that he's got,
right.
I have a hard time believing that you're just this dirty ass carny with tattoos on your face. I'm sorry, I just didn't buy that about him.
I was okay with that only because Emma Stone.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. Yes. Ooh, yeah. I was okay with him being a carny thing. That bothered me at first, but because he was only a carny for the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, but that means he was a carny for the first 30 years of his life.
Yeah, I suppose, but because he didn't really play a carny in the movie.
Yeah.
I was fine with it because I was able to forget about it and it was okay.
Yeah, but still, like to see him playing a dirty character like that,
I was at least happy to see a dirty tattooed white guy not playing a white supremacist. That was
true.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true.
That was nice to see.
So I mean, but then again, I'm sure.
Yeah. But okay, so I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. So then, all right.
So the first part of the movie is Gosling's character with the baby mama. Second half of the movie is second part of the movie
is Bradley Cooper. And
Bradley Cooper
he
after
such a weird
his
arc.
encounter with. It's just strange
because he gets shot by Ryan Gosling, which causes him to shoot Ryan Gosling.
Right.
And he gets shot in the leg. He's on rehab.
Well, and you see what a shitbag he is when he's in the hospital, and he has to lie to get out of the IA investigation.
Which is weird because Gosling shot him first, didn't he?
I think so.
So then he would have been clear anyway.
He would have been clear anyway, but it was still... I know Gosling didn't shoot him first.
No.
He shot.
But still, he had.
shot first.
Okay, look.
Regardless, Gosling's standing there after he just robbed the bank with a gun in his hand.
Come on.
I mean, it's like,
look,
dude.
They shoot black people in the street for less.
Well, exactly.
So
it's like, you could have. I mean, this is not hard to get away with.
No.
But
then like he's in rehab, and all of a sudden they put him on desk duty. He's working the evidence locker, and then Ray Liotta shows up out of nowhere and like goes to
who played the same character he plays in
every
movie.
fucking movie. And he goes and he's the dirty cop.
Right.
And he goes and gets Bradley Cooper and he's like, "Come on, we're coming with us." And they go back to Eva Mendez's house and raid the house illegally.
Yeah.
Find the money that
raid the house illegally to find the money that Ryan Gosling illegally
from
gave
the bank
her to give
that
right.
she didn't know about. I really truly believe that she didn't know that money was there. But then again, I'm like,
no, he gave it to her. Remember, he threw it into the car. So
but
she
did she
definitely
see it go into
she
the
did,
car?
and then she must have brought it into the house and
yeah,
was
she
trying to
put it
save
in the
it
crib
for sure.
Yeah, because I'm thinking to myself while I'm watching, I'm like, dude, with the amount of times that I've changed Bobby's fucking sheets in his crib, you know that shit's there.
That was a pretty well. She definitely knew it was there because he threw it into the car. That was actually a pretty interesting. That whole interaction was pretty interesting because I thought it showed a lot of the whole social the whole social thing with that's happening with the police and dirty cops keeping people, keeping poor people poor. And I mean, this was really like we said before, this was really just a guy who was trying to do right for his baby mama, give her a bunch of money that, granted, he stole from a bank. We can, whatever we want to say about that, but she hides it, and then they come in, raid it illegally. At one point, I think they even said something like to Bradley Cooper, like, well, and it was a white guy too.
Yeah.
Like, it was surprising that he shot a white guy. And
right.
I'm like,
oh yeah. He said
man.
It was like, that's like a gold star or something
right,
like that.
Right.
Like, dude, really?
I thought that whole thing was kind of interesting, but it wasn't interesting enough to redeem that whole arc with Bradley Cooper being the one good cop in the dirty precinct.
Yeah, it was fucking weird.
But yeah, so Bradley Cooper then he's the one good cop in the dirty precinct, and
then he ends up
he goes to the DA
after they ask him to pull heroin or cocaine.
They ask him to pull a bunch of
to like frame a hooker,
frame somebody or
Why
something.
Why are you framing a hooker? She's a hooker.
Know, she's a hooker. You already got her on something. I don't know. It was all weird.
It was a convoluted thing.
I think they needed something to make it, to put him over the edge kind of thing, and so then he
rats them out.
Rats them all out, and because he rats them all out, he becomes
the
this
DA.
This
assistant DA.
And then eventually the DA, and then eventually the Attorney General.
Right. Well, that's the fucking thing that's crazy, because after he turns to the DA, like, he's got a baby, and his whole thing is like he's having such a PTSD moment every time, like, because like, oh, this guy had a baby and I just had a baby and they're probably the same age, and oh, I don't know how I can handle this, and this is so hard for me, and blah, 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 blah. And, like, he and his wife have a good relationship. And then he gets the DA position. Then it shots to 15 years later down the future. They've gotten divorced.
Right.
The kids are grown up, and he's running for the Attorney General. And I'm like, that's like Christ's missing 15 years.
I think you're just supposed to read out of that he's a shitbag, right?
Or he turns into a
shitbag. Power corrupts him, right?
Yeah.
Power corrupts.
Absolute
power
corrupts. Absolutely.
Whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I think you're just supposed to read out of that he's a shitbag. I did have a real issue with his whole PTSD thing, because it's like, and look, I've never shot anybody. I've never.
We've wanted to.
Believe me, there's a few people. No, I'm kidding. I've never shot anybody.
Sorry, not sorry.
But right. But I will say that, look, man, I got to tell you, like, my daughter asked me one time, well, Dad, do you really think you could shoot somebody who was trying to rob you, or shoot somebody who had a gun on you or whatever? Had a gun on me, was trying to rob me? Maybe. I don't know. I'd have a hard time. But I know this. If a guy had a gun pulled on, like, my kids, my wife, whatever, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger's getting pulled. I'm not even thinking about it.
Right.
So, like, the thing is with this, it's like, well, like, the guy had a gun pulled on him, and I don't know, maybe there's a whole, but I think they overblew it, right? Like, because I just, like, I didn't get it. I didn't believe it.
You know what it was? It was
Bradley Cooper. He's a shitty actor.
It was the Justice League Martha moment.
I didn't see
Okay,
it.
so in Justice League, like,
you're the comic book guy.
Yeah, well, in the Justice League movie, or not Justice League, Batman v Superman.
Okay,
like,
didn't see that either. Isn't that Ben Affleck?
Yes.
I would have never fucking watched that.
Oh, dude, it was so good.
Ben Affleck, I will never watch anything with Ben Affleck ever again. He's just horrible.
He was a good Batman. I liked him as Batman.
Okay.
So like,
anyway, we digress.
He finally like as Batman will, he fucks up Superman, and he's got like this kryptonite spear, and he's about to jam it right in Superman's eye, and Superman's like, they've got Martha, and like, so coincidentally, in all of as far back as comics go with Batman and Superman, both of their mother's name is Martha. Okay. So that is the one thing, like throughout the whole Batman v Superman movie, like Batman's like, if there's a 1% of a 1% chance that he could go rogue, I've got to take him out. Fuck Superman, I'm gonna whoop his ass, and we got to take him out. He's like totally Lex Luthor in the whole movie. It's fucked up.
Batman is?
Yeah, Batman is.
Okay.
So like he's got Superman down, and he's like, they've got Martha. And he's like, how do you know that name? What do you know that name? Like he says that to Superman, and that's that's what turns like Batman and Superman into super friends.
Oh, okay.
So that was totally like the Martha moment. So this where he realizes that when Bradley Cooper realizes that Ryan Gosling's got a kid just their same age.
I get it.
That's the Martha moment.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. Again, it was hard.
It's horseshit.
It was hard for me to believe, and maybe it was hard for me to believe because Again, I'm going to go back to I thought Bradley Cooper just did a terrible job in this movie. I thought he was awful.
Was it awful, or is it just a bad script?
Maybe that. Maybe it was a bad script.
A little column A, a little column B.
Could be. I think it was probably a little of both. But we gotta get to what I think was the best part of the movie.
All right. So then we like in that flash forward, like you see like him getting all like conflicted about turning in his buddies, and he goes to the chief of police, and the chief of police is all like, what, you want to be turning in a bunch of cops now? You could be a big blah blah blah. And then he goes, I guess he has to go to the mayor, and he goes to the mayor, and that's what gets him the job.
That's what gets him the job. And then
he even sells out the one guy that he trusts.
Right.
He's like, well, who do you trust? And like he sells that guy out too, so
he
he's a piece
sells
of
everybody
shit.
Out, right? And I think that's I think we're just supposed to read into it that Bradley Cooper is a piece of shit.
Right. So then you find out.
So then we fast forward.
And Bradley Cooper, like, they've gotten divorced. His son wants to live with him, and he's like, ugh.
And his son's a piece of shit.
His son's
His son probably listens to Nickelback.
Yeah, well, no, his son listens to like major like fucking bullshit trap hip hop music.
Yeah, his
like,
son's
he's a Guido. He's a Jersey Shore douchebag.
He's a Jersey Shore douchebag who comes to live with Bradley Cooper's character. And, of course, Bradley Cooper
doesn't want him there.
Well, Bradley Cooper doesn't want him there because Bradley Cooper's running for Attorney General.
And his son's a shitbag
just like he is, and he wants nothing to do with the kid, so the kid can pretty much run rampant. And here is both the worst and the best part of the movie, I thought, in this third act, where I felt like, okay, the whole Bradley Cooper kid thing with the other kid, which turns out to be, do we want to spoil this?
Yeah, fuck it.
Turns out to be Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling's kid.
Like, this kid comes to the school.
Please fucking spare me. By random. I just happened to buy drugs from the kid who my dad shot his father.
Yeah, so they're sitting, like, Bradley Cooper, or Eva Mendes' kid is sitting at this lunch table by himself, and, like, Bradley Cooper's kid comes and sits down, and they have this really awkward, like maybe that's just how high school kids really talk, because I can remember being stupid in high school.
I have a daughter who's just out of high school, and I have a son who's 3 years out of high school.
Well, your daughter's intelligent. Your son, I can't really speak on.
He's very intelligent. He's just like his old man and very, very lazy.
Fair enough.
Plus, he drinks too much, and he probably smokes too much pot.
Well, there's one thing. Yeah, drinking too much is bad. Smoking too much pot, I don't know if that's possible.
Well, maybe.
So they sit down, and like the only thing missing from Bradley Cooper's son was him going, yo, yo, yo. Like, he was totally Marky Mark.
Oh, he had the gold chain and the wife beater tee.
Total fake Guido.
And the Guido hair slicked back, and the hair coming out, the hair on the chest coming out of the tee, out of the wife beater. It's like, seriously, oh, come on,
like,
man.
Dude, are you Paulie from the fucking Jersey Shore?
He was totally, and
then of course Eva Mendes' kid's just like this meek little like.
Right, he's this meek little stoner kid who kind of just,
he flies under the radar.
Well, he called it perfectly. You're the stoner loner kid, or whatever, the loner stoner, whatever.
So he befriends this kid.
He was the kid. He befriends him, quote unquote, because he wants to find a hookup for drugs. He gets drugs with the kid.
They get busted.
Bradley Cooper gets them both off.
Right, and then like that's the
Right.
one redeemable. Like he was like, leave the kid alone, just stay away from him, because
Right.
he knows his kid's a shitbag, and
Right.
like he was like,
He doesn't want to fuck up this kid's life.
because he already feels he fucked it up.
He already feels like he fucked up this kid's life by killing his father.
Because even
So he doesn't want to fuck up this kid's life anymore. He tells his own son
to stay away
stay
from
away
him.
from this kid, who the son doesn't listen. And
Right,
then
and now
goes down
in that
this-
half a second of the Bradley Cooper good guy, like he goes to Eva Mendes and he like tries to apologize, and he's like, look, I'm sorry, and she's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So
I thought maybe the best part of the movie, the only part of the movie where I really felt emotional and I felt, man, this is cool, and I wish I could have watched an hour and a half of this, was when Ryan Gosling's kid, the blonde kid, the loner stoner kid, when he finally finds out who his dad is, when Kofi or whatever, Ali,
and he sits down, he's like, tell me
about my dad.
What's his name? Just tell me his name.
Tell me his name, whatever. And then he goes to the library and he looks up his dad and he finds out his dad was the moto bandit or whatever.
Right.
And his dad was killed by a cop and that whole thing. And then he goes to the guy who his dad robbed banks with.
Mm-hmm. Ben Mendelsohn.
Who also was very good in this.
He was excellent.
And he learns about his dad.
He was even one of the guy who was like, look, I'm out, man. You're getting too reckless.
Yeah, but he learns about his dad and Mendelsohn, Ben Mendelsohn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tells him, your dad was such a good guy. He was the best motorcycle rider I've ever seen, but he was a great guy. He was a great dude. He was just...
Yeah, he was the best motorcycle rider I've ever seen, because I chased him on an ATV while he was driving a dirt bike through the woods.
But look, I mean, they had to do that for the emotional factor. Okay, fine. But I thought it was, I get it. But I thought that interaction, and I thought that whole, like, I want to find out who my dad was, and I want to look into who my dad was. I thought that was really cool. And
it was
unfortunately, it was never explored.
Yeah.
And the only point I wanted to make about this whole movie was the last scene where he goes, where the kid runs away, basically.
Yeah, so what happens is, like, there's this big party.
Yeah, tell it.
And because I finished it yesterday.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like the first thing is they get busted for ecstasy, and then the next thing.
Well, no, they got busted for buying. Did they get busted for buying X, or
it was X?
Was it X?
Yeah, because they went and bought it, and then like the cops came around.
Cops showed up right away,
hood,
and that's when Bradley Cooper gets them off.
And I'm
whatever.
like, really? Like it's that fast? Yeah. It's that fast, really?
Well, I mean, if you're sitting outside the drug house and guys walk out of it, it is.
Yeah,
I've lived in that. I've lived. I grew up in the city. I lived it. I saw that.
I'm a loner dotty.
It happens.
So like, so they get busted, blah blah blah, and then the next thing you know, like he's like, "Oh man, you got to come to my party. You got to make up for this. Make up for it, motherfucker."
That was fucking weird.
Yeah, why is he got to make up for it? You got off, motherfucker. Your dad's the DA.
Right.
You're not going to get in trouble.
Make up for it, my ass.
Because even like when
I had to go to court and and plead guilty on a misdemeanor. You fucking had to go home.
Yeah, right. And even when like Bradley Cooper shows up at the police station, they're like, "Yeah, we got some guys that'll keep this quiet for you."
Right.
So then he's like, "Yeah, you need to bring some oxys." So then, like, the poor kid goes to the drugstore, like small town. Like, that's the thing.
Well,
that's the hardest part for me to get past on any of this. Is it's such a small town that, like, how is it that, like, you can get
that shit's all over in the small towns, man.
No, but I understand that. But he goes into this pharmacy in this small town.
Now that was weird,
and he robs the pharmacy.
He actually robs the pharmacy of Oxy, and that was
like,
weird.
But like. Look, I'm sorry, but in small towns, people know who people are.
Right. Especially, and I don't know how big Schenectady is or how small. It looked small in the movie, so I agree with you on this. That was kind of weird because it's like the kid.
It's not like they were in a large urban area
the
where
kid
he could
and the pharmacist chased him out and chases him down the street. It's like, you know who that kid is, man.
Right.
Well, maybe that's why he ran away. So he goes. So
Possibly,
he steals the Oxy.
He
steals the Oxy. He goes to this party, and then he goes to this party at Bradley Cooper's kid's house, or Bradley Cooper's house where the kid is throwing his party. He sees a picture of Bradley Cooper, and he realizes that's the cop that killed my dad.
Now, here's the thing, though. He was about to get laid.
Well,
okay.
There's more to this than that, though.
Oh, but he was about to get.
Like,
he was making out with this chick. He sees the picture on the wall.
He was making out with. Well, he was making out with a chick who had been previously making out with a chick. He wasn't just about to get laid. Plus, I think, quite honestly, I think he dropped the ball because he was walking up the stairs with only one of those two chicks. Totally missed the boat on that.
Yeah, so, but still, like, look, what other 17-year-old kid's not going to get his nut off before he goes to try to beat the shit out of the other kid?
Look, yeah. I think we're kidding here because I've never been in a situation where I met the kid whose dad killed my dad. I don't know.
But nonetheless, the chick was pretty cute. And if I was, say,
she was
17.
Cute, and I get it.
And, like, she was there. She was unbuttoning her shirt. She was ready to go.
Oh, she was in.
Yeah.
She was, what did the kids say now? The days? She was DTF.
I don't know.
Right?
She was in,
Down
like, Flint.
to fuck.
Yeah, she was in, like, Flint.
Hashtag DTF.
Right. But, yeah, so, like, he's like, oh, I can't. Or he didn't even say anything. He just gets up and walks out of the fucking room.
He gets pissed off, and then he goes and beats the shit out of it. Well, he gets his ass kicked. And when he gets his ass kicked because he confronts Bradley Cooper's
But
kid.
He doesn't. He just shoves the kid around. He never,
I know.
He never explains anything. He just, like, goes off like a raped ape.
This was my problem with the whole movie. My problem with the whole movie was it told such a long, big story in little sound bites with so little meaning behind it that it made these scenes that could have been incredibly powerful
mean less.
to mean nothing. So he gets into this fight, and then
you motherfucker.
So
that should be the last time that happens.
So he gets into this fight, and he basically then he kidnaps Bradley Cooper, takes Bradley Cooper to a forest, threatens to kill him.
Now, if you notice, it's
the same forest that Ray Liotta took
Liotta picks him up. He's like, "Follow me." Okay, so going back, like right before he right before he rats everybody out, I think Ray Liotta is getting an inkling that this is going to happen. So he pulls up. He tells Bradley Cooper to follow him, and they drive forever to these woods. And they pull up into Ray Liotta pulls into this little enclave. And Bradley Cooper pulls behind him, and he gets like some shit's about to go down.
Yeah,
and he tears ass out of there, and then goes and talks to the mayor.
Right. Well, because he realizes at that point, I either got to rat everybody out or I'm going to die.
Yeah. So then Bradley Cooper gets kidnapped by Ryan Gosling's son. And this is another thing. You know how much all of these characters mean because we always keep calling them by the.
We don't even know. The only characters I know at this point are Kofi.
Yeah,
who was like I said was fucking excellent,
and he's got an interesting name enough to
remember. So he gets kidnapped by Ryan Gosling's son,
who I think his name was Jason.
Jason. It is Jason.
So he gets kidnapped by
Jason. And Jason takes him out.
Because he goes to his buddy's house and says, I need a gun.
And that whole scene, right, he goes to the drug dealer's house and says, I need a gun. You need to help me. I need a gun. So he gets the gun. He goes into the house. He confronts Bradley Cooper's kid. Then when Bradley Cooper, this was after the party, after he got his ass kicked. Remember, he went back.
Oh, with the gun.
And then Bradley Cooper shows up, and he kidnaps Bradley Cooper, and they go to the forest, where it's totally unbelievable because Bradley Cooper starts weeping and crying. I'm so sorry.
But the thing is, he never says, you killed my dad.
Well, not only that.
But then again, Bradley Cooper knows him, but he doesn't know that Jason knows him.
Well, and not only that. You're right. You're totally right. And
there was my biggest problem with this whole movie was there was so much exposition.
Yes.
But there was zero explanation between characters.
Exactly. And when they go into the forest, when Jason kidnaps Bradley Cooper and they go into the forest and Bradley Cooper starts crying with it, whatever, and it's, what do you want, all this, he's legitimately crying. I'm thinking, okay, the whole time I'm thinking he's crying because he's got a plan. He's going to pull out a gun. He's going to shoot the kid or whatever, this and that. But he doesn't.
No.
Jason just runs away, steals Bradley Cooper's car, and then Jason gets away, and Bradley Cooper and the kid, Bradley Cooper and Bradley Cooper's kid, the Jersey Shore kid. We're gonna call him what's the Jersey Shore kid's name? Mike.
We'll just call him Paulie.
Or
the situation.
The situation. Bradley Cooper and the situation kind of let the kid go. Well, they kind of let the kid go because then you hear you hear the news report where it's like, oh, an unnamed assailant, an unknown assailant, whatever.
So he basically helped Bradley Cooper win.
Right. But my problem with that whole scene is okay, you've painted Bradley Cooper now as this complete douchebag who who raised this kid who's a complete fucking
but
total
did he raise him?
douchebag.
We don't know. Like
He didn't
when and the
raise him.
point
Who
that
knows?
they-
But he got a divorce, and he's just an asshole. He's an ass. Bradley Cooper's an asshole.
Right.
And now I'm supposed to believe that he's in the forest after 15 years of being an asshole and climbing his way through politics, which we both know makes you a bigger asshole. I'm supposed to believe that he's in the forest and he starts crying.
Well, it's like Joe Rogan says.
Like,
Like
what
anybody
the
who wants to get
fuck?
into like public office like that has got to be a severe narcissist.
I don't want him. Right?
Yeah.
Anybody who wants that job, I don't want to have that job. But
That's
this is where
that's why George Washington was the only good president.
you got it. This is where I thought the best scene of the movie lost so much momentum and so much emotion, because then at the end of the movie, the kid Jason, who
goes
is,
out
I'm
to
going to
the
go back. He's Ryan Gosling's son, Jason. He basically runs away and he becomes this drifter, loner type of thing who's like, I'm going to find myself.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is so fucking cool. And then he goes, he buys a motorcycle because his dad was a motorcycle
he
rider
must
or
have
whatever.
got it off of Craigslist.
Probably he shows up at this guy's house and knocks on the door and says, "Oh, are you Mr. whatever the fuck?" You know.
Yeah, and I'm thinking he's like finding Ryan Gosling's dad. He's finding his grandfather, but it's not. It's just some dude.
What a powerful scene where the guy goes to the bar and he pulls out this old fucking Honda and he says, "Oh yeah, well I need $5," and Jason says, "Okay," and he hands him $500, and the guy says, "Well, do you know how to ride this thing?" And he doesn't say a word. He just starts it up and he rides it off, and it's like, oh,
see,
dude, I wish this movie could have been told in an hour and 20 minutes if you just focused on Ryan Gosling
and the kid.
And that's it. You don't need to tell me Bradley Cooper's story. You don't need to tell me Pauly Shore's story or whatever the fuck his name is. Not Pauly Shore. The Situation story. You don't need to tell me their story. I don't care.
Right.
I just want.
Well, my big thing. See, okay, I had an issue with the kid just getting on the bike and driving away. Like a lot of the people had a problem with Rey in Star Wars never holding a lightsaber and kicking Kylo Ren's ass.
All right, I have so many problems with the new Star Wars with Rey. Let's not even talk about that.
But nonetheless, I had the problem.
I agree with you.
Like, do you know how to ride it? I'm not going to say a word to you. I'm just going to get on. Never mind that you got to. I've never ridden a motorcycle, but I know it's complicated as fuck because you got to shift gears, and one is like the gas.
It's not really. If you know how to drive a stick, you're able to drive a motorcycle.
Yeah, but
you're able to ride a
pedals,
motorcycle in about 50 feet. You'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, but this kid, like, who knows what the fuck this kid's ever done.
It's possible that he rode a motorcycle, but we don't know.
They don't know that.
We don't know
We
because
don't know
they
because they
didn't.
never say anything.
We don't know because they didn't tell us.
Exposition with no explanation.
I agree with you. We don't know because they didn't tell us, because they spent time telling me little bits and pieces of this story of Bradley Cooper and the situation and this, and it's like the thing is, like we said earlier, right? Ryan Gosling's character, the whole arc of that story was so cool because you thought
the story was going to be about them.
Redemption is coming for Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
He's going to redeem himself. And then at the very, very end of the movie,
do you think it's redeemed through his son?
We get redemption for Ryan Gosling through his son, who has decided, you know what? I'm going to make my own life. I'm getting away from all of this bullshit, and I'm going to make my own life.
Yeah, because you could definitely tell that there was an issue between him and his mother because his mother would never tell him the truth about it. But then
there you go.
But then again,
40 minutes of the Ryan Gosling story, and then 5 minutes of Jason's story, and we're done. 45 minutes.
Right?
Done.
It's done.
The whole movie.
But then again, right before it, because I think Ryan Gosling knew he was going to die because he picks up the phone and he calls Eva Mendes and says,
absolutely
"Don't tell
knew.
him about me."
Well, he wasn't going. Ryan Gosling in that scene knew, I'm not going to jail.
Right.
I'm choosing to die here.
Yeah.
I'm going to die at this moment. He didn't want to go to jail.
Right.
So I get it, and I totally get that, but dude, the whole middle of the movie was just a waste.
Yeah, it was a waste of an hour and a half.
I can't recommend this as watchable. I can't.
All right, so how do we
try and wrap this up? Okay.
Well, here's the thing. How do we want to end? How do we want to? Do we want to be like, how about this? How about this? We'll rate them in, fuck this movie, or yeah, go ahead and watch it. So
this is okay. I'm good with that. I like that. And I got to rate this as fuck this movie. I got to rate this as fuck this movie because I think there's too much wasted effort. There's too much wasted time and there's too much ignoring a story that could have been really cool. If you had told me 90 minutes of Ryan Gosling and his kid's story with a little bit of pieces of the
Bradley
situation
Cooper's.
and Bradley Cooper thing because they affected Ryan Gosling's story. And I get what you were trying to do. You were trying to compare two fathers and two different father-son stories. I get it. I get what you were trying to do.
You know what's a way
but it
better
wasn't worth it.
You know what is a way better story about fathers and sons? Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Return of the Jedi. No,
Yeah,
what?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Way better story about fathers and sons.
All right. Well, we can talk about Guardians of the Galaxy at some point. Quite honestly, the Guardians of the Galaxy are my least favorite
Oh my god, they're so
Marvel.
fun.
They're my least favorite Marvel characters. I want Marvel characters who are legit. But anyway, okay.
All right.
So going back, I'm fuck this movie because like I said, I just don't think it's I think it's too long and I think there's too much in the middle that is
fluff. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean I get what you were trying to do, but I don't like it. I don't want
care
to
for
watch it.
Yeah. All right. So,
you're
the
fuck this
official
movie?
fuck this movie.
You're a fuck this movie too?
And I like art house movies, and this tried to be an art house indie movie, and it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
You know, like you can have good art house indie movies like Memento and shit like that,
Right.
but because it had an interesting story to tell. This was like, let's make a fathers and sons movie that takes place over over 3 eras and
2 generations.
2 generations and
15 years.
and 2 hours and 20 minutes. God damn, whoever edited this movie needs to be fucking
Should have
fired.
edited out all of Bradley Cooper's parts.
Oh, Bradley Cooper shot him. He got shot in the leg. Oh, he raised an asshole son. Seriously, they could have cut like the whole Bradley Cooper arc out and just put like
This
after
is
he
what
gets
I'm
shot
saying.
15 years in the future. Oh, wow, man, we got an hour and 15-minute movie that's concise and to the point.
I wish they would have explored Ryan Gosling's character so much more.
Right.
But they didn't.
Give me some backstory. Maybe they can make a prequel.
So this is right. There you go. So this is what I kind of envisioned this whole Netflix what you're calling Netflix and chill thing. I used to have a segment on my podcast called What I Was Watching, What I'm Watching, same thing, whatever, I don't care. This is kind of what I envisioned it to be. Where we're just bullshitting about the movie and look, spoilers galore. Like I said, we're going to try and not be spoilers, but whatever.
I don't care. I'm going to spoil everything.
I'm typically action and horror. Just
I'll
so
watch
everybody
anything.
knows, and you'll watch anything. I know that you're more in the comic book range.
I watch a lot of comic book movies, but I watch movies. Like I just like watching movies.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I like watching comic book movies because I like the source material and I like
Right.
That's what I'm into. But dude, I like comedies, dramas, fucking action movies,
Yeah.
whatever. I like movies.
I watch everything. Like I said, I am typically more horror and action. This I picked because it had such a good rating. I don't think it deserves that 7.3.
No,
man. No,
it's like
way.
a 5.55 or something.
5. I originally had said like low 6s. I'm more where you're at now.
Yeah.
I think it's mid 5s.
Have you seen
best.
Thor Ragnarok yet?
I have.
Okay. Fuck. All right. Well,
We can do it. We can do that.
Yeah. I haven't talked about it yet.
If you haven't talked about it, let's do that.
Let's watch it again, and then
I'll watch it
we'll,
again. I'm happy
all
to
right,
watch
so
it again.
Next in 2
I
weeks.
dug it.
2 weeks, folks.
Spoiler. I kind of dug it. I thought it was good.
It was good. All right, so in 2 weeks, folks, Thor Ragnarok. Catch up, bitches. All right, so for Netflix and Chill, I'm Reuben.
I'm Tom.
And what should our sign off be?
Later, bitches.
Later, bitches.
I'm Brittany, bitch.
Leave Brittany alone.